In this episode, we're showing you the machines and the tools we've invested in to turn our raw land into our dream. Before we could build our trails, before the garden, before even our home, we had to start with the right equipment. And not just any tools, pretty big ones. So today we're taking you behind the scenes to show you what we bought, why we chose each one, and how we're using them to shape the land. Plus, what it's been like learning to run all of this equipment for the very first time as we go. The first piece of equipment we bought was the one Shad had been dreaming of owning for years, a John Deere 50G excavator. We took a road trip, just the two of us and our dog Remy, all the way up to West Virginia to find this exact one. It was exciting and honestly kind of surreal. Bringing home our very first machine felt like the start of something big. We chose it because it's big enough to tackle the larger fallen trees we have on our property, but small enough to maneuver through the longleaf pines without disturbing the forest too much. And one of the biggest reasons we went with a 50G is its versatility. It's compatible with all kinds of powerful attachments like a thumb, mulcher, even trenchers and augers down the road. For a property like ours, it's the kind of tool that grows with you. And for Shad, finally climbing into the cab of his own excavator was like a dream come true for him. He was beaming like a little kid on Christmas morning. The next big addition to our setup was a Case skid steer. Shad actually found it on an online auction and got a really great deal. It showed up just a few days after the excavator, and at that point, we were officially in business. We got the skid steer to help with everything from moving logs and clearing brush to leveling ground and building out access roads down to our creek. It's compact, but still very powerful and perfect for all the smaller jobs around the property that we needed to get done. And because we planned to get a bunch of attachments for it, we knew it'd be one of those tools that we'll consistently use. A really solid all-around machine. It's become one of the most used tools on our land, and honestly, it's just a lot of fun to run. While our house is under construction, we needed a place to store our machines and get work done on our land throughout the summer. So we cleared a section of the property, an area we might turn into a tennis court one day, but for now, it's the perfect outdoor workstation. It's spacious, out of the way, and gives us a central spot to keep our tools organized. And Remy absolutely loves it. He gets to run around and play while we work, and it's become our little hub for all things land building.
Get it. What are you doing?
Once we had the excavator and skid steer in place, it was time to expand on what they could actually do. So we started investing in attachments. And because they were so large and heavy, we had everything delivered to our business's warehouse first. Doggo. Then we rented a Penske truck, loaded everything up, and brought it to the property. We used the skid steer to unload each attachment from the truck once we got to the property. The first attachment we got was a land leveler. It's simple, but incredibly useful, especially when you're trying to shape raw land into something functional. We'll use it to smooth out rough areas, level the yard, and prep future roads and paths. It attaches right to the front of the skid steer and lets us drag and contour the surface to create clean and even grades. It's already saved us hours of handwork. Next up, we got a set of forks for the skid steer. Nothing fancy, just incredibly practical. Whether we're lifting equipment, moving large materials, or unloading deliveries, the forks give us a safe and easy way to move heavy stuff without the strain. And then comes one of our most exciting tools. A massive grapple attachment. This thing is heavy duty, built to grab, lift, and carry the fallen trees and brush scattered all over the property. We needed something tough enough to handle the weight, but precise enough to work in tighter spaces, and this grapple has delivered. It's one of those tools we'll use over and over as we continue clearing, organizing, and restoring the land. Then of course we can't forget the excavator, and the first attachment we bought for that was the hydraulic thumb, so we could use this alongside the bucket to pick up debris and logs around the property. But the attachment we were actually the most excited about was the TMC Cancela mulching head. Shad spent hours researching options, comparing brands, specs, and reviews, and this one just stood out for its power, durability, and build quality. We got it because our land has a lot of dense brush and overgrowth, and instead of hauling everything out by hand or setting up burn piles, we wanted a way to clean things up efficiently and naturally while still leaving nutrients on the ground. This mulcher head breaks down small trees, vines, and debris into a fine mulch, clearing space while enriching the soil. Shad had it delivered to our warehouse, loaded it into the back of his truck, and brought it to the land himself. He used the excavator to lift it straight out of the bed, and of course got it all set up in the rain. He honestly couldn't wait to use it. Once the mulching head was attached to the excavator, it was definitely one of those, okay, this is real now moments. This was by far the attachment we were most excited for, and as soon as it was hooked up and we saw it mulch down that very first piece of debris, we were pumped. It was this instant feeling of, we're really going to be able to clean up this land. There's so much brush and overgrowth out here, and the idea of being able to actually walk through the woods, use this space, and open it all up, it just made everything feel possible. Once we had everything on the land, machines, attachments, and all, it was time for the fun part, actually using them. So I ran the skid steer for the very first time with the grapple attachment. I spent a good half hour just picking up logs, figuring out the controls, and getting used to how it all felt. Honestly, at first it was pretty intimidating. The machine's powerful, the visibility is very different, and every movement feels very exaggerated. But once I got the hang of it, it was actually a lot of fun. A lot more fun than I thought it would be, to be completely honest. And then of course there's Shad. He wasted no time. His first real hour with the excavator was spent going crazy with the mulching head, just ripping through brush and clearing ground like he's been doing this for years. At one point, even a tree fell on the excavator, but he's totally fine, just a little bit surprised. He had a blast carving through the forest and really opening up parts of the land we hadn't been able to walk through before. And because running the equipment means burning fuel, Shad built a pretty clever setup for that too. To make fueling up easier, Shad put together a really simple but very clever setup. He took a 55-gallon barrel and attached a 12-volt pump to the top, which we can now power using a regular car battery. Now we can fill it up at the gas station, bring it back to the land, and refuel the machines like we've got our own little fuel station out here. It's pretty smart and very simple, and just another example of how resourceful Shad is, always finding ways to make things work on the land.
This is fuel, obviously, diesel only.
Oh, that's cool. I never actually knew how that works.
Now we have fuel just like an air pump. I have a battery.
And it pumps it out? Coming soon on Beneath the Pines, our shipping container arrives, giving us a secure place to finally store all of our tools and attachments. We start planning and marking the trees we're going to cut down to create access trails to get down to our creek, carving the first pass into parts of the property we haven't yet explored. I spend my first real hours in the mini skid steer, grading, leveling, and helping build our first construction road. We take down our very first few 100-foot dead pine trees, which was very intense, so keep your eyes out for what's to come.